What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Week 3 2024 Commissioner's Address for Drunken Fumble. We are getting right into rivalry weeks coming up, and I am pumped. There's been a ton of injuries this year. It has been a crazy couple of weeks. I'm going to hop right into the matchups today. I do have a little bit of content that I want to get through. I'm going to skip the injury segment today because it would be too long. And I've got a few things that I want to show you guys. So let's hop into the first matchup. And that's going to be looking at Brown Neighbor Cooksmell taking on Cup My Staff Hurts JK. 163 points from my team this week, almost good enough for the second week in a row of top score, but that was taken away, which we will look at later. Mickey having a hard day, 101 points. David Montgomery had a good day. Xavier Worthy, 5 points. Sam Laporta, 5 points. Just not going to cut it. Garrett Wilson, 14. He was okay. J.K. Dobbins had a tough day with 8 points. So 101, not going to cut it. On the other side, James Cook has been awesome this season. Malik Neighbors has been awesome. Rashee Rice has been awesome. And finally, Caleb Williams turned up to play the Dallas defense with -1 point against Baltimore. Moving on to Whiskey Jack, Big Fucking Anime TD's taking on Chief of Stafford. Chief of Stafford coming away with the win in this one, but we'll have to settle for a 1-1 week as the median victory was stolen from them on Monday night. But Big Fucking Anime TD's 125 on the lower end of the averages this week. But it could have been lower. You know, you were projected for under 100 points at one point. Kyron Williams and Lamar Jackson kind of saved your day. Mark Andrews, 1 target, no receptions. That's a tough day. Calvin Ridley also had a tough week. So just a tough week from a few of your guys, but a few others really went off there. So a little bit of hope looking forward. Rob, Aaron Jones, 25 points. That's a big day. And the Pittsburgh defense looks really good. Seattle had 28 points as well. So big outputs from both teams' defenses, but Chief of Stafford will take the heads-up victory, but will not get the median win. Gus Bus, Dak Street Boys taking on Knicks the waiver wire. Dak Prescott, 29 points. Jamar Chase, 29 points. DK Metcalf, 20 points, leading the way for Dak Street Boys to get the win over waiver wire, who had a tough week with 107. Trevor Lawrence does not look good. Zeke, I don't know, looks about as good as everybody would expect him, except for you, because you drafted him apparently. Olave finally had a good week. And Deontay Johnson, that offense in Carolina looks revitalized with the Red Rocket as their quarterback over Bryce Young. Dunze and Jacoby Myers both had good days on your bench, so better weeks to come for Nick. Dak Street Boys will get 2 wins this week, and Nick will have to settle for 2 losses. Greasy Boners taking on Make America Drake again. Drake Allen, Jesus Christ. You got to change that name, Eric. You did win, however, 146 to 115. That will move you to 6-0. The 2 losses this week will drop Shane down to 3-3. Josh Allen, 30 points. He had 28 in the first half, so they essentially sat him. After that, he's been so good. That offense could be even scarier if they are in some close games. Jonathan Taylor on the other side with 26 points was pretty good, and Will Levis was better than his expectations, but not enough for the win, for either win, and you will fall to 3-3. Eric is going to be one of 2 6-0 teams, and when we look at the standings, we'll find out where he falls in line. Barry McCockiner taking on E.T. Phone Mahomes, 170 points. You know, I feel like feel like you've been waiting for this for like 2 seasons, Spencer. I don't know the last time you were Superman. It feels like it's been a long time, and I don't know when. I feel like it's been a couple 3 years for sure since you had the highest score of the week, which that's a long stretch. But you had a big week this week. Even though Wade had 148 points, it was not enough for the victory. 33 points from Saquon, 25 from Charbonnet, 17 from Harrison, 28 from Daniels, who looked amazing, and of course the Buffalo defense coming in strong. High Lifer, you are the Superman of the week. And Wade, that's a bit of a tough loss. 148 points. Sam Darnold was good. Derrick Henry was great. Justin Jefferson has been great. That's a tough loss, but with the median, you will get 1 victory out of it. Move to 3-3. Spencer, you are going to be 6-0. So this matchup was crazy. And I'll tell you why. Because there was almost a new segment this week called Asshole of the Week, and it would have been me. So Jordan is down in projections by about 20 points. And he's thinking, do I start Gardner Minshew in my Superflex or Juwan Jennings? And he had Jennings in there. And I said, your opponent has Brock Purdy, and you have Devontae Adams. I said every touchdown Devontae Adams gets is worth twice what a Juwan Jennings touchdown is worth. So he made the switch. Gardner Minshew ended up with not quite 15 points. Juwan Jennings on his bench, 46 and a half. 11 catches for 175 and 3 tutties. Now, going into Monday night, I'm feeling guilty because Jordan is down like 40 from his heads-up win and like 50 from a median win. And he's got Joe Burrow and Zach Moss and Brenton Strange. And they did just enough. Not only did he beat Casey, which put Casey down to 0-6, all by your lonesome, Casey. But he needed to beat Rob in order to get the league median win. So even though he had 46.5 points on his bench, he comes away with 2 wins this week. Now, he had 135.5. Rob had 134.5. It was so close. Monday night was crazy. I don't feel guilty for convincing him to sit Jennings because he still ended up with 2 wins. But holy cow, that was some funny shit. But I'm glad you still pulled her out there. So now, a couple things I wanted to mention. One that I forgot last week. Passing TDs after 2 weeks in the NFL. In 2018 through 2022, these were the numbers: 114, 105, 110, 110, 105. In 2024, the passing TDs after 2 weeks were 66. Like 60% essentially of 2018 to 2022 average, which is crazy. Another big stat, I don't know if you guys have been watching Jaden Daniels at all. In Tom Brady's career, he had 2 games where he had no punts and no quarterback turnovers. In Jaden Daniels' 3-game career, he's had 2 games where he hasn't had a punt or a turnover. And they were back-to-back, which is fucking crazy. So that was another stat. Now, the stuff that I wanted to get into, a couple of things. I'm going to touch on rivalry weeks, but first, I want to show you guys something that I have been working on. But I'm just going to switch you over here for a second while I get this lined up. Okay. So I have started personally recording the record book. I have it saved as an Excel spreadsheet, and once I kind of get it finalized, I'll find a way to load it to probably just the fantasy Facebook page, and then that way you guys can access it whenever you want. But this is kind of what it looks like so far. I've got single season wins and losses records, the biggest margin of victory and smallest. Most points all time in a week, in a season, kicking and defensive, and I recorded quite a few different stats. I also recorded here that you can see, go a little bit. I recorded first, second, and third, because this is all that Sleeper was going to do for us anyway, was record first, second, and third, and then the wins and loss record. Which I can still get off of there. I never thought about getting the wins and loss record. But I did this, and then I also put in the playoff appearances from each season. Now, I want to see what I can show you and what I can't show you. I wonder if I could just like... There we go. We'll do that. Maybe a little further. So I recorded the most titles, so obviously there's 4 of us that have 2 titles. I recorded the years as well. Now, this is a little bit funny. So I recorded our money leaders since the league began, and I only included people that are in the league. I wasn't going to record people that won $100 here and there 10 years ago. Now, we're going to roll down here. I want to see if I can like stay in the way a little bit. Maybe like right here. There, that's weird. Okay, so Eric Brown has a couple of wins, including a $2,000 win and a couple of second places. He's going to be in first place, followed by myself, Rob, and Spencer with $2,000. And they're all kind of in order as we go down here. And I just want to point out that there's 2 people, 2 active managers in this league that haven't made any money. One joined last year, and one joined in 2017, Wade. So this song's for you. You know, $0 since 2017. Is that right? Like, you know, I went back through a lot of stats, and maybe I'm all fucked up, but have you not won a single dollar in this league? We might have to rename the trophy after you for all the donations that you've given. But I digress. Rolling along, I want to take a look at, like I said, I did a little bit of work, a little bit of stat work. And I want to take a look at these rivalry games we have coming up here in week 4. And then again on American Thanksgiving weekend. And I went back through all of the matchups on Yahoo while I was there. And of course, some of these I didn't have to go back very far. But we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at these bowl games we got going on. So the first one's first, created in 2023 when they had their first matchup, is Jordan versus Mickey. They had 2 matchups last season, and Jordan, you won 0 of them, and Mickey, you won 2. So I'm not going to take a look at the player matchup. That's probably going to take a little bit too long. But Mickey, you are 2-0. Jordan, you are actually the only person in this league yet to win a rivalry game. So no pressure, but you better do it. Next matchup, in my other league bowl, established in 2017 when Wade came into the league and started making donations. And I went back and looked at all the matchups, and Justin and Wade have played each other a few times. Justin, you have 2 wins, And Wade, believe it or not, you have 6 wins. Wade is ahead in that matchup 6-2, including both wins last year. Next bowl, Ed Hardy Bowl, established 2016. Casey taken on Will. Casey and Will have been going against each other since 2016 when Will came into the league. And Casey has beat Will 7 times. And Will has beaten Casey only 4 times. Last season, Will won both matchups. So before last season, it was actually 7-2 in favor of Casey, but Will won both of last year's matchups. Shit Eatin' Grin Bowl, established 2016. Shane taken on Rob. Shane, you have 6 victories, and Rob, head-to-head against Shane, you have 3, my friend. Yeah, 9 matchups in that one. We had 11 in this one, 8 in another, and we're rolling right along. Silent Bowl, established 2013. One of our 2 OG matchups. Eric versus Nick. Eric, you have 4 wins against Nick since 2013. And this is crazy, because Eric, I feel like, has been good these last few years, but Nick has beat Eric 10 times since 2013. That might be the most times one team has beaten any other team. Maybe, maybe not. Let's look at the next matchup. The Has Been Bowl, established 2013. Mike versus Spencer. This is a huge matchup this week. We were the leading scorers last week, 1 and 2, and we go against each other this week. And I have beaten Spencer a total of 8 times. And Spencer has beaten me 9 times. And that is our head-to-head matchup since 2013. I won both matchups last year. In the Silent Bowl, they split their matchups last year. Shit Eatin' Grin Bowl split their matchups last year. The Ed Hardy Bowl, Will won both. In my other league bowl, obviously, in my league bowl, Wade won both of those. And obviously in this one, Mickey won both there last year. But I digress. Let's take a quick look at the standings. We have Spencer in first place at 6-0, followed by Eric also at 6-0. I will lead the 4 and 2s of myself and Jordan, and then a whole swaggle of ass at 3 and 3, and some guys that are starting to struggle a little bit. Big fucking anime TDs, Cut My Staffords, the Waiver Wire, and Big DK Energy. Might have to start looking at making some moves to try and increase their chances of making the playoffs. Good luck, everybody, in Rivalry Week. May your players stay ever healthy and unproductive. Commish out.